The following video is only for educational and entertainment purposes only. I have analyzed this project about 30 times. A sequel to the Mouse commercial, property of St. Nicholas School, and effects of this project are cancer. The project's name? Grant's Presidency. So, how's the Republican Party been doing lately?
Number one.
Joe, you agreed with Bernie Sanders, who's far
did.
left, on the manifesto,
When
we
you-
call it.
when
And that
manifest-
gives you socialized medicine.
Look, hey,
Are you saying
I'm
you
not going
didn't
to
agree?
listen to him. The fact of the matter is, I beat Bernie Sanders.
Not by much.
I beat him a whole hell of a lot. I'm
Not by
here
much.
standing facing you, old buddy.
Pocahontas would have left
Well,
2 days
I tell
early.
you-
Did you get to take a bathroom break? And I didn't.
The fake news just doesn't get it, do they?
Freedom! Mommy, take me home.
Wait,
Number two.
Chris.
Number three.
They said it would take. No, you were number 2.
No. We have the highest trade deficit.
China with Mexico. And China ate your lunch, Joe. And no wonder your son Well, then you know what? No, we're done, sir. We're moving on to the next. We're moving. That's not an idea. Everybody in your administration tells you the truth is a bad idea. But I tell you what, I have no idea.
Well, hey, the Democratic Party is probably doing worse though.
I have the freedom to kill you with my COVID.
Build back better, blah blah blah.
Grows the economy. Benefits everybody. Hurts nobody.
Well, thank you, Facebook.
All men and women created by you know the
Double cheeseburger with fries, please.
Anyway, after the Civil War, the United States had to deal with numerous problems of Reconstruction, the rights of the newly freed African Americans, what should happen to former Confederates, and white supremacy becoming more extreme and popular in the South. Well, inaugurated in 1869 was a former Union general named
Ulysses S. Grant.
that would have to deal with those problems for the next 8 years, from 1869 to 1877. After tons of research, animating, and a lack of sleep later, I've created this project for the sake of my social studies grades. Just look at them! Look, I've been watching too many James Bond films lately. I'm sorry, I just had to say.
I used to watch all the James Bond movies. I even had a secret identity. In public, my parents would tell people I was someone else's kid.
Emotional damage. You want some therapy?
Also, just to clear this, I am not an historian, but I spent more time on researching for this project than dealing with my taxes. Don't worry people, it's still not yet tax day. And 2, I'm not here to give any alternative facts, alright? I cannot tell a lie. Anyway, this is going to be a wild ride.
There's something I need to tell you.
I bet there is.
Not that type of ride. Whatever, at least could fit my budget, and honestly, I can't be recording this project late at night. It's like 4 in the morning. I need sleep right now. Good night.
Always makes me feel a little melancholy. A grand old warship being ignominiously hauled away for scrap. The inevitability of time, don't you think? What do you see?
A bloody big ship. It's
Excuse me. 007. I'm your new quartermaster.
You must be joking.
Why? Because I'm not wearing a lab coat?
Because you still have spots.
My complexion is hardly relevant.
Your competence is.
Age is no guarantee of efficiency.
And youth is no guarantee of innovation.
Prior to the election of 1868, Ulysses S. Grant was involved in the Civil War. Oh, an interesting fact about Ulysses S. Grant during the war. In December 1862, he issued General Order Number 11. In the order, Grant expelled Jews due to them supposedly, and I quote, violating every regulation of trade established by the Department of the Tennessee. Basically, many Jews were illegally trading cotton from the Confederacy with Union officials. Many leaders of the Jewish community were enraged about it, and Grant had to revoke the order due to pressure from President Lincoln in early 1863. So, in other words, Ulysses S. Grant did anti-Semitism before Hitler was even born?
Checkmate, Lincolnites!
Anyway, after the war, Grant was appointed as head of the Army of the United States in 1866. In August 1867, he was appointed as the interim Secretary of War. 5 months later, he resigned from the position. Meanwhile, the administration of Andrew Johnson, after Lincoln was assassinated, was a bit of a mess. Lots of conflict between radical Republicans and a coalition of Democrats and moderate Republicans over the fate of former Confederates and how harsh their punishment should be. Then Andrew Johnson gets impeached in 1868 over dismissing his Secretary of War, Edwin M. Stanton, thus violating the Tenure of Office Act. In his trial, the Senate, in a vote of 35-19, acquitted Johnson in May 1868. Now we have to talk about why Grant even sought the Oval Office. Now, another thing, just imagine the teachers actually see this. Even though he has stated he wasn't really interested in it, Grant only ran for 2 reasons. One was the massive support for him to run for president in the first place, and 2 was that he believed that the government had to protect African Americans from racists in the South and block former Confederates from public office in order to preserve the losses of the Civil War. So he aligned himself with the radical Republicans and won the Republican nomination in the 1868 Republican Convention. In the presidential election of 1868, Grant and his running mate, former Speaker of the House Schuyler Colfax, won against Democrat candidate Horatio Seymour. Grant won 214 electoral votes and 3 million popular votes against Horatio's 80 electoral votes and 2,700,000 popular votes. Grant won due to his enormous popularity over his military service during the Civil War and the support of African Americans. In early 1869, Grant was inaugurated and thus his presidency began.
Always gotta make an entrance.
On March 4th, 1869, Ulysses S. Grant was inaugurated as the 18th President of the United States of America at the age of 46. In his inaugural speech, he stated 2 goals. One was to deal with the massive debt that the nation gained as a result of the Civil War, and 2 was the ratification of the 15th Amendment. Oh, an interesting fact about Grant's inauguration. Andrew Johnson didn't attend it. This was the only time a president boycotted his elected successor's inauguration until, During his administration, Grant had passed the 15th Amendment to guarantee that the right to vote couldn't be denied because of race, color, or any previous condition of servitude. He had also passed the Enforcement Acts to help counter the rising racism and the Ku Klux Klan in the South. Grant had also passed the Civil Rights Act of 1875 in 1875 to guarantee African Americans equal rights. However, that act would later be seen as unconstitutional in a later Supreme Court case as it violated the 10th Amendment over the powers of states and the federal government. Grant had also established the first Civil Service Commission, but the commission was dismissed for how ineffective it was. The Species Resumption Act of 1875 was passed to reduce greenbacks, paper money printed to financially help the Union during the Civil War, increase the number of national banks, and help replace paper money with metal coins. Now, besides dealing with Reconstruction, what else did Ulysses S. Grant do during his presidency? Interesting fact about Grant's presidency. In 1876, Ulysses S. Grant and the Emperor of Brazil, Pedro II, hosted the first official World's Fair known as the Centennial Exposition. During the Grant administration, the Department of Justice and the Weather Bureau, today's National Weather Service, were founded. The Transcontinental Railroad was completed and an Interoceanic Canal Commission was established to create plans to connect the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The commission founded a favorable route through Nicaragua, but you know what happened after. The Treaty of Washington was signed between the United States and the United Kingdom to settle the problem of Britain building vessels for the Confederacy during the Civil War. The Hawaiian Reciprocity Treaty was signed between the Kingdom of Hawaii and the United States to give Hawaii special benefits in trade for the exchange of their sugar. Before the whole Grant tried to annex Santo Domingo, or today's Democratic Republic, but Congress shut it down. The Indian Appropriation Act of 1871 was passed to end treaties between the government and Native Americans. Grant had also passed the Yellowstone National Park Protection Act in 1872, thus protecting millions of acres of the land. Now at this point, 3 things need to be addressed. 1. Are you still there? 2. Did you gain all that knowledge from chapters 3 and 4? Finally, 3. All that knowledge does not matter, as all of them are overseen by something else. Well, multiple things. A specter, you could say. And no, not that type of specter from the James Bond franchise. Like something that haunts the mind, or, you know what, let's talk about corruption and the scandals.
I thought this was appropriate. The function of man is to live, not to exist. I shall not waste my days trying to prolong them. I shall use my time. To James.
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 James. Right. Back to work.
After numerous hours of my life dedicated to this project, I have come to a conclusion. The aftermath of a war is more important than a war itself. Now, to the other part. What was Grant's impact on Reconstruction? Grant had ultimately helped the nation go through a time of rebuilding, with him passing several things like the 15th Amendment. However, once he left office in 1877, stuff really went down the drain afterwards. Now, time for a ranking, and I can finally conclude this project. Thank you all.
I'll put Ulysses S. Grant, I think, in this category. So there's been a great sort of revision about how Ulysses S. Grant is portrayed in American history. Ulysses S. Grant originally was portrayed as sort of a drunken sot who lucked his way through the Civil War and then into the presidency, and then was responsible for the rise of pork politics and sort of Gilded Era corruption. That's not really accurate. If you're going to remember Ulysses S. Grant's presidency for anything, remember it for the fact that he presided over Reconstruction. And one of the great tragedies of American history is that Reconstruction ends with Ulysses S. Grant's term in office, and Jim Crow really begins and gains a serious hold, and the KKK basically becomes a powerful force in the South after Ulysses S. Grant leaves office. Revisionist historians are now kind of looking back on the Grant era and realizing that he was a stalwart defender of freedoms being extended to newly freed slaves in the South.
De la France, oisive de sang et d'or.